16. Hello, good morning, everyone. Hopefully everybody's doing well this morning. I do not have the chat on. And there you go. Morning, Oliver and Mark from Halifax. All right, let's get started. A couple things I wanted to write on here. I did not. What worked? Double top AMD, and then short Qs, SPY, after news. Okay, so these are this is what I'm going to be looking at once the market opens. I just want to show what worked yesterday. I took the double top AMD. I did not take the short Qs and SPY after the news, but I will explain how the setup worked. So 5 things to know. Oh, I forgot to open it. This is yesterday's. Let me just open the link here for what the market is doing this morning. If anybody knows if there's a simple way to get to it from their website, I always have to click on the actual link that they send out in the email in the morning, which is the way I've always done it, but it'd be nice to just be able to go to their website and get this this article. So this is for today, March 19th. 5 things to know before the stock market opens. Futures pointing lower after Wednesday sell-off. Yes, things do seem to be below certain moving averages. When I look at my trading view charts, we will look at the dailies or just on the 30s higher time frame. We are having trouble buying these pullbacks. Oil surges as Iran and Israel attack energy facilities, unfortunately. Micron stocks drops despite blockbuster earnings. I was watching this yesterday. MU's at all-time highs. So is it priced in that all these, people always say, oh, they had amazing earnings, why is the stock going down? Well, because it's priced in. It was at all-time highs. It's been hitting all-time highs for weeks now. So it pulled back. FedEx results due after market close today. This is interesting as far as the economy is concerned because of deliveries, right? So how much are consumers buying? So a lot of people look at FedEx and other companies like FedEx as an indicator of the general economy. All right, the economic calendar, what have we got for today? I just got to make sure that we are on today's date here. What I like about this website is that it reloads automatically. So it's constantly reloading. So we had core PPI. Is this today? Where's I can't see the date on here. I just want to make sure that I thought we just had PPI recently. So it's on today. There you go. Maybe it wasn't on. It was showing PPI. I just hit reload. I'll have to check on that. I usually load it every morning, but I thought it reloaded automatically. Actually, I know it reloads automatically because these numbers will come in. New home sales in 40 minutes at 10 a.m. is a 3-star, but I find it doesn't really affect the market that much usually, but I will keep an eye on it in 40 minutes. And then earnings, well, we just saw that FedEx aftermarket close. Other than that, there's not much going on. So let's look at TradingView. I'm going to set some levels and some alerts. There we go. We're on the 30-minute. Apple is at a level of interest. It is below, or it Yesterday, we thought it might find support here. Let's put a drawing here. All right, so this was the low of a few days ago where we found buyers. And then yesterday, it found buyers again and then went up. This is all aftermarket yesterday and pre-market this morning. What will it do at this level? This is a level of interest. Again, not looking to buy or sell. This is where I'm going to pay attention on Apple. Don't need to set an alert because it's right there already. AMD. AMD had a big day yesterday. It did pull back. I will show you. I took the short in here somewhere on the 5-minute time frame. It did work, but then it pulled back and made new highs. Where it is right now, this is a level of interest. This blue line right here. This is where we found buyers over here. Again, in pre-market yesterday. Now, what will it do today? Level of interest, not knowing whether it's to buy or sell. I just want to see what will it do at this level. Again, no alert because we're already there. This level is no longer needed. I'm going to take it off. AMD, I had an alert over here to see a few days ago if we came and touch this level for the possible long. It did not make its way down here, and we did start buying. But since then, we hit a wall and have been selling off. Level of interest, room to the left, pretty much where it is right now. This is where I want to see what will it do once the market opens. Again, no alert needed. We're right there. The alert down below here, I'm going to leave because this is a possible level of interest, possible level of support. Google. Google was making new highs for a few days, and as of yesterday, pulled back. This long wick here at the open, pretty much everything yesterday wicked up and then rejected. It's putting in some indecision candles now. Level of interest from the low of pre-market yesterday. It is also S4, which could be an area of support. Be interesting to see what happens in the first little while because there is room to the left. Right, this is where the market could be uncomfortable. Right, so it could go either way. I will be watching it on the 5-minute time frame. Meta, very similar, very interesting level where it is right now. I'm going to put a level right there. This is where we found support and gapped up and then pulled back. Again, tried to make new highs, could not find buyers and pulled back. This is where we gapped up. So this gap has been closed now. So this is where we found buyers before. Are they still there? And if not, then this can go lower. I mean, where, right? We can put a level over here, right? Without looking too far back, but this is a possible range back down from 611 back down to 600 if we sell. Right? I think somebody's got a microphone on there. If you've got something, if I didn't hear properly, please let me know. I forgot to put the chat on. There we go. Yeah, if anybody has something to share, please go ahead and interrupt me. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Just go ahead and because otherwise I'm just going to keep talking. Microsoft also in a very interesting area. I drew this level here this morning because this is an interesting area. Instead of just drawing a line right here, I decided to draw this zone, which could be a zone of support. If it doesn't hold support, then we could be going down here. Right. So again, everything is in an area of interest right now, below price. Above price, there's no room to the left. Right. But it could spike up and then reject. right, for a breakdown and retest, and then retest again for the further move down. So we'll look at that once the market opens. AMD, same thing, right? Let's put a level. Actually, let's just grab one of these. Right, so over here we'd whipped down and then moved up. We played around here and then played around here again, but it made new lows under this level, so it's not the strongest level of support. It is S4, which is often a level of buying, a level of support. So right where it is right now will be interesting. If it breaks down below here, then I'd be looking at it retesting for the further move down. And that goes for everything I've just described. Room to the left for Tesla. Like I said, pretty much everything right now has room to the left below price. Let's put a level right over here. Right, this is where we had found support. You know, we could be wicking down and then buying, or we could be breaking down further and then looking for possible support or targets if you're shorting. Q is a very interesting area right now. This was support, but we are a little bit below that. I've got a larger time frame range over here. It's a very large range. Actually, for the time being, it doesn't need to be that large, so I'm going to bring it up like this. So if we look at the higher time frame, we're just going sideways, right? Just going, you know, from the tops at 617 to the lows of whatever this was, of 587, right? So this could be a range of support. If we break below here, then we could be making our way down here. Actually, let me bring it up a little bit. 580 area. Right now that we're below 600, if we retest this level, if we retest the highs here and then make new lows, then we could be going down to the 580s. And then SPY, absolutely at a level of interest. Right, we have been making new lows. This was the high here in January. This was all-time high here. Let me just yeah. Right, so on the 30-minute time frame, this was all-time high. We've been making lows ever since then. This is a level of support that I had drawn in. If that breaks, the next one is down here. Right, so if we break down here and retest, target would be around the 650 area. I'll look at MNQ. MES took a short on gold, on oil this morning in the sim as I am getting back into futures, and we'll be sharing my journey as I test out TradingView. I'm looking at getting away from DOS when it comes to trading futures. What I love about TradingView is their platform and being able to trade from my phone, from my iPad. DOS is bulky and the app is pretty much useless on the iPhone, because especially when you compare it to TradingView. So market is open in 1 minute. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to be waiting, as I always do, for the first 5-minute candle to print. And by always, I mean recently. I used to trade the open, but I just do not anymore. I'm going to be looking at volume. Right now, it seems to be high. Much of the market seems to be red. I have seen markets like this in pre-market be red and then just change over to green very quickly. So let's see what the market gives us once the market opens. And I just wanted to bring up MU to show what happened with earnings yesterday. So earnings was after hours on the market is open in 10 seconds. So good luck to those of you that trade the open. Spike up once earnings came in, and then did a breakdown, and then retested after hours. If somebody had shorted here, and I was very tempted. I don't like to trade aftermarket anymore, but I was absolutely tempted here because this was a 50% retracement from the highs here. And I just thought that MU was priced in, right? So anyway, did not take it. I often analyze these things, and I don't always take them. And my watch is going crazy here. So what's going on? Baba, alert on Amazon, and Truth Social. I don't know if anybody's trading that. There's Meta. Okay, so we're not selling off on spying cues. Right now, we seem to be holding support. Like I said, everything has room to the left below price. Excuse me. So we could find buyers here. It's not necessarily a short. And if it is a short, for me, it needs to break down and stair step back, basically retest, and then short again. So at this point of where we are in the market, I'd be looking at possible long entries if we wick down and there's a lot of buying. And I would need to see that the buyers are in control. There is enough room here to get back to PDC, which would be the target. Right? The difficulty with something like this, first of all, with Apple, PDC is right there. So when I was talking about that, I was talking more about spying cues because PDC is a little bit further away. With Apple, if it did print a bullish kangaroo tail, difficult because the stop loss would be far away, and previous day close is at 250, which is a psychological number as well. Now, if we retest 250 and have difficulty getting above, even though there's not a lot of room to the left because market was there in pre-market, this would be a possible short that I would take on Apple. So let's see how it pans out. Now that FOMC is over, I would likely take something if something sets up. And I've got a few minutes before 9:35, so I wanted to share the short that I took on AMD yesterday. It was a double top. Let me replay. Over here and over here. Okay, so this was shaping up as a double top. If you look at the lows over here, I don't like that it was chopping around here, but you know, I was this was a retracement trade. I did not take this. What I did take was a short here. So I liked that it was rejecting it had rejected R6, was rejecting R6 again. So on the 5-minute time frame here, it was putting in a bearish candle, even though it's green, it wicked up. So I flipped over to the 1-minute time frame, and I wanted to see if it put in some bearish candles below R6, and there it was. So I had my stop over here. So the short was, I don't remember where the entry was, and unfortunately I did not keep the screenshot. Again, it's DOS that does not allow, doesn't keep the memory of it, the entry triangles, and it was not a 3R. My target was at R4, and I partialed out pretty much right over here, and then got stopped out at break even. So break even was my entry. So that was a small, it was a 2R trade yesterday, and it was the only thing I took. Now that the 5-minute candles have closed, let's look at what that gave us. No trade on Apple. Breakdown on AMD, could come and retest, going sideways on Amazon, or possibly finding support here. Nothing there. Nothing there. It did wick down. Microsoft did wick down, but closed red. Nvidia seems to be pulling back. This is a big red candle. Obviously, what I mean by that is that it is something I look for the breakdown. So if it were to come back in this area, around 177.50, I might look at the fact that it broke down and then retested for the further move down. Same thing with Tesla, broke down below pre-market low. I will set an alert above here if it came back into this area of 384.50, preferably not quickly, right? If it takes a little bit of time to get there. And that's about it. Market absolutely looks weak. I mean, we could be breaking down below here. I am going to put the SPY puts on my screen, 655 puts. I want to see if there is a lot of momentum once, or if we break down below 655 here. I want to see the price action on the put options. And then I want to share in a few minutes, you know, what the alerts are set. There's nothing I plan on taking right now. So, especially for those that are watching the replay of this, I want to go to MNQ. Let's look at what the market did yesterday at 2 p.m. Right? So this was 3. This was the 18th. Once the news came in from that was the news. Let's put fibs on here. So I had this to the low. So from the high day to where we changed over, you know what, let's replay so that we get rid of all this. There we go. And let's hide. See, this support here at S4 was really, really strong, but this 50% retracement up to the 61.8. Again, there might be too much information on here. Let's get rid of some of these levels. There you go. So I had this fib drawn in. Wasn't planning on taking anything until 2 p.m. So let's see how this played out. It was just going sideways. Everybody's waiting on the news. 2 p.m. is approaching. At this level is where I brought this back down to the low, which is the low where we started buying again. Where what I wanted to see was the 50% retracement here on MNQ. But it wasn't going to do anything until the news, which the news came in here. We had a pop into the 50, and then a bearish candle. I did not take this, but the plan would be to short right here at the break of this bearish candle, stop at 61.8 and aim for 3R. There's the 3 right there. There you go. So this trade worked. Amal shared a screenshot of this trade. It worked perfectly well for him. I don't remember if it was on MNQ, but it was a very similar play on MES. So that's how that trade panned out. Anybody has anything to share of what you guys are looking at, please don't hesitate and put it in the chat. And since I'm not really looking at anything right now, I'll share what it is that I was looking at on oil this morning. Right here, this was a sim trade with, again, the high of, and this is just, I'm just back testing, forward testing, just like I said, getting back into futures. And this would have been drawn over here. So let's replay here. And this worked perfectly in my favor. I just, I wasn't at the computer. I had put a target to the low of over here, but this turned out to be a 3R right over here. But what I was looking at was a high and then a lot of selling, and then we started buying over here. Well, from here to here is where I drew in the fibs. I wanted to see, do we go into the 50? We wicked up above, right? We wicked up above the 61.5. Short if it's a bearish candle, and even though it's green, this is a bearish candle, right? It wicks up, price came down, it pulled up a little bit, but then it printed a red candle, but entry would have been right over here. Stop just above the wick, and 3R. Easy peasy. Actually, it's not, but this was the trade that I took in sim this morning. Like I said, it worked out, but I had left it on, and it stopped me out over here. Right, it stopped me out actually at the stop. Right, that's the thing with these arrows. They don't show the actual entry. So that was a nice sim trade. It worked out. I documented what it was I was looking at, and not 100% sure if I'm only going to be aiming for the 3R. So we're pulling back. Sorry, we're buying on Apple. AMD's making a new high. Amazon making a new high. I don't really trust it. Making a new high on Tesla. So this was the breakdown. If it can take its time, retest, and reject this level, then I might take a short on Tesla. Similar on Nvidia. Like if we're actually buying here, if we're actually finding buyers, I mean, this should be making its way up pretty quickly, and it's not. So that's why I think this is possibly a breakdown and possible retest of this area over here. Nvidia has come down to S6, which could be a level of finding buyers. Right, this could have been a level right here. That is a very bearish 30-minute candle, but I'm going to switch over to the 5 and want to see, does it come and retest the S4 over here? Preferably in the next 10, 15 minutes, stair step, come and retest over here and then show some selling for the further move down. Otherwise, for long, for me, it would have to wick down and put in a kangaroo tail or a double bottom. Those are the only setups that I would take for the reversal. By the way, Amal is going to be doing a webinar tonight on futures and prop firms, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm pretty sure it will be recorded, and Avi will be posting it to his YouTube channel after the fact. Interesting price action on Apple. Seems to be having difficulty with this level over here. AMD pulling, right? That was the breakdown. That's the pullback at 195. I am going to look at AMD for the possible breakdown and retest. AMD's already down 2.4%. 86% R vol. So let's see what it does over here. See what it does with 195 area. On the 1 minute, we're making higher lows. Curious to see if it can break 195 or if it'll wick up and reject. We'll see. We're retracing on Tesla as well. Apple making new highs. Nvidia going sideways. So 195 is printed. On the 1 minute time frame, it put in a very bullish candle here. 540.
Good morning, Gilles.
Hey, good morning. I can barely hear you there. I don't know if it was my speaker that was low.
Maybe it's me. I'm just not
Oh,
talking
no,
that loud.
no, now I hear you better. I just turned up the I remember I turned down the volume yesterday afternoon. So AMD, right? Looking at the breakdown and retest right around now, you would have to sell, right? We'd have to see selling coming in. And on the 5-minute time frame right now, it's not. What are you looking at, Evo?
INTC is looking pretty strong.
You're into INTC these days.
Yeah, it seems to be very favorable for trading for me and my setup. So
awesome.
I wouldn't have thought that given the way it was looking pre-market under the SMA 50 and 200. But who knows?
Yeah, Apple approaching, and well, INTC at PDC right now. Thick dotted line on my screen, by the way, is previous day close. And then the small dotted lines are yesterday high, yesterday low, pre-market high, pre-market low. So those, and I need to get them on TradingView. I've got a script that I'm working on, and it's almost there. I don't have time this week, so next week sometime I'll finalize that. All right. So what will this candle do on AMD? That's what I'm very curious of. Made a new high. Right, this was the breakdown, the retest. Very curious to see how this candle closes here. And the price action on that. I know you're big on volume, Evo. Look at this. How would you gauge this volume here? We're making new highs on AMD, but this is the volume. I know we were running out of people buying over here. Possibly.
Maybe for the time being, but I'm not sure what kind of level that is. If you know, if it's a critical level.
Yeah. No, I don't mean to put you on the spot. It's just right, we're making new highs, but the volume is decreasing. So
you're looking at the 1-minute chart. So I like to look. Yeah, maybe zoom out a little bit to the 5-minute chart.
Yeah.
And you know, I trade the ETFs, so I look at those analogs. But right now on the AMDL, which is the leveraged, you know, if this candle prints green on the 5-minute chart right now in the next 45 seconds, we got a lot of volume coming up here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
There may be room to go again towards the SMA 50 or the 200 level. So
that's an alert on Nvidia that just went on. Right.
Rivian looks pretty strong, actually. It has some news with Uber, and it's been holding VWAP, and it looks like it's going to test the I think it's jonesing for pre-market high right now. We got a big spike in volume, big candle on the 5-minute chart. And yeah, kind of held the Fib level pretty nicely from that pre-market spike this morning. So we'll see how that goes, see if it gives me a good pullback. So yeah, that's what I'm primarily looking at right now. Rivian, INTC. I got OXY on my chart too,
Oh,
but
wow.
kind of choppy over there.
Yeah, I just got, just as I printed that up, I just got an alert. Rivian 9.92% higher. Yeah, well, it's a nice move in pre-market. Bit of a pullback and then further move. Yeah, so for the breakdown and retest, this has gone up a little bit too much to be a retest for me. Nvidia is another story. Nice, 177.
So we have INTC and AMD that have a pretty similar chart pattern so far. It is Nvidia also kind of mapping the same. Do you see it on your end?
Yeah, I'm just looking at Nvidia right now. 77.65. Yeah, I'm looking at the possibility of this continuing lower. 77.65. I'm going to bring the Nvidia puts, 175 puts on my screen. I want to see how they're reacting. Yeah, very interesting price action right where it is right now.
You know, the nice thing I like about INTC is on the 5-minute, if it can hold. You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we had a little bit of a pullback in on the smaller time frame on Nvidia. Right, this is definitely a level I'm looking at here. It pulled back, but now it's making new highs. So if it makes a new high above 177.63, 65, it would go against my theory that we're retesting this level. But if it struggles with that and makes a new low, it might be a continuation lower. And the puts are not moving. They're not going higher. So we could be making new highs on Nvidia.
I think INTC may have room to the upside because if we can find some support around the SMA 200, if it comes to retest here, and these in the 50, and that's VWAP. I see no reason why we can't challenge yesterday's session high around 45.71, 50, whatever that is, 45, yeah, 71. And we're sort of at this little choke point right now around 45.20. So it's got to overcome that. But I'd like it, for my setup, I'd like to see it come down a little bit more because it is pretty extended. But, we are in a DeMark sequence right now. We're in sequence number 3. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more of a pullback so I can get a better entry.
Yeah. Do you mind explaining what that is?
It's a sequence counter. It's based on a mathematical formula that I can't really explain, but I think it's based like on the last 4 candles. And I find this DeMark sequence counter that I have added in my Thinkorswim helpful to let me know. It's really helpful to let me know when kind of trends extinguish. So I think it's really good for extreme reversals. But if we get into a sequence and we're already in sequence 3 or 4, especially in a bigger time frame, the 15-minute chart, it kind of lets me know another confirmation where the direction is heading. But sometimes the sequence breaks. Nothing's perfect. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. If I look at AMDL, the leverage long of AMD, it definitely has some potential. It's got to clear this, and these tend to be bounce areas, the 50 and the 200 simple moving average. So, but this looks very strong.
On what time frame? What's that chart?
This is the 5-minute frame, so very strong right now. I like it to maybe hit this and pull back down. I'll readjust my fib and maybe get closer to VWAP here. I would consider it for long. It just depends on how far it pulls back. But we're also on a 15-minute DeMark sequence that's been initiated, so we'll see. I don't know. You can see the SPY and the QQQs are running into some real estate here. It's going to have to deal with, and it may kind of bounce back down. But I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm looking at. No trades for me.
Yeah, and great for sharing. Thanks for sharing. It's great to hear all kinds of different strategies, and I share mine because that's what I know. But it's great for everyone to see that there's all kinds of different strategies that can work. Right? Once you've figured out what works for you, then that's what you watch. Yeah, Nvidia seems to be stronger over here. Where's my trading view? Up there. Yeah, stalling here. I missed the entry on the 1 minute.
Looks like OXY is breaking out. Huge volume profile on the 5-minute chart around the $60 mark. And it looks like INTC is going to break out. I don't know. It's not pulling back enough for me to get in. One pullback candle is not enough. I want to see 2 or 3. So yeah, if it's the conditions are just not right for me, I'm not going to jump in because this would be buying in at a premium level, and I'm not supposed to buy at premium levels.
I'm still curious to see what happens with Nvidia at this level here. And same with Qs. Qs, what are we looking at here? It's 225 and 175.
Dang, AMD just keeps chugging along.
Yeah.
No pullbacks, just like a straight V.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, Gilles, on AMD, what I'm just looking at a higher time frame. Why was that? Why did we see that?
Actually, hang on one second.
Sure. Oh, I see it now.
I'm looking at Qs and the difficulty it's having right where it is right now. And if I end up taking something, it would be small size here. If this candle closes, we got another 2 minutes. If it closes red, I might be looking at taking a short and looking for a low a day. $590.84 is the low of this candle. Yeah. $590.81. Yeah, 590.81. What does it do here? More seconds here. Okay, I'm short Qs. Target low a day. Got in a tiny bit early. Okay. There you go. And I'm going to get stopped out. And I'll explain in a second what I was seeing here. And that's why I said the small size, it's almost like testing out it's going to wake up. There it is. And then either it's going to continue up or it's going to reject here. And that was the entry and the exit right there, -1R. Jeez. There you go. INTC is just making new highs, eh?
Yeah, and even AMD, I can't believe it. We had that last 5-minute green inverted candle print. As I was hoping for more of a pullback, but it's just still chugging along.
Yeah.
And spying the cues, look, I see like on the cues, I see a rising 3 methods information.
What I was looking at here is what I've been testing out on futures was just the high of pre-market here until we hit over here, until the low of the opening 5-minute candle here. I put in the fibs here, and it looked like it just touched the 61% here. So I wanted to see, is there a bearish candle? And the next candle here was bearish, right over here. So this, on the break of this, or right before the break of this, is where I went short with stop right above the fib. And it got me in and took me out right away. So that's what I was looking at here. And this is the pattern that Amal has been talking about. He probably wouldn't have taken it the way that I did. So I don't want to, blame it on him. But again, they can, if they work 50% of the time, it's an amazing strategy. And it might be printing again. I don't know why my mouse is so slow all of a sudden. $590.49. If the candle closes near the bottom here, I might try it again. But it's not, with 5 seconds left, it's not going to close red, that's for sure. It is rejecting. Again, I'm looking at cues here. It is rejecting these highs.
Yeah.
AMD is a big move, but it's still not to previous day close. And pretty much everything on here except for INTC is below yesterday's close. Wonder what that move would look like on NQ. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this.
Yeah, the SPY and the Qs are kind of sandwiched between these moving averages right now.
Yeah.
And so we got to just wait and see which way they want to break.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
I mean, the SPY had that big rejection candle and the increase in volume, so that leads me to believe that the sellers are in control right now. The Qs on my chart printed green the last candle, 5-minute candle. But again, similar structure.
Yeah, very similar structure.
Wow, INTC and AMD, there's just it's like a hockey stick. And I realized with AMD that the first green 5-minute candle print this morning, which was the second print of the day, that was the low of March 13th, and from whence it bounced. So now I understand why it hit that critical area and boom, it just shot up.
Yeah, 192.27 was the low of that day.
Yeah, so it's pretty close. That was a bounce area. From there, it bounced. I didn't have that or see that on my chart. So
590.50 is a very interesting level on Qs. Just seems to want to hang out there.
Gilles, sometimes, my primary chart's the 5-minute, and we've been in session now about 50 minutes. If my pattern doesn't emerge on the 5-minute, I'll oftentimes just either flip or really focus on the 15-minute chart, because sometimes it's not clear for me on the 5-minute, but if I focus out just a little bit more, I get a better idea, and then maybe my pattern will show up there. Do you ever do that on your end?
Oh, yeah.
Anyone else does that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I usually use the 5-minute here. Entries mostly on the 1. Now we're just going sideways here. But I'm not trusting the long above here. Again, that's just me. It seemed to break down, or not break down, but it was making new lows, hit a low here, and then pulling back 50 to 61.8% from this area here.
Yeah, I want to be able to see some, like my Q signal is to see some kind of volume anomaly. Maybe in the SPY we get a big handle body print, but the volume is off compared to the prior volume since the session. And so far, I don't really see that. Everything kind of seems consistent to my eyes. But usually an anomaly tells me to queue up and maybe a change will be happening soon. But everything looks kind of the way that it should, I guess,
Yeah.
to me.
You guys are seeing here, right? Over here. Let's, yeah, I don't know if anybody else is seeing anything else. I was hoping for this spike to be quick, like the breakdown. It might just be a slow move over here. It took me out. It was a little bit quick on the entry here, but that was my idea here. Now it's happening. Pull back. I was not looking. I didn't get the alert here on Tesla, but that was the breakdown, the retest, bearish candle. Hard to see here on this, but right, rejection of this area over here. Break this low, aim for low of day.
Yeah, I think I may take a break, get some breakfast, and maybe come back in half an hour or something.
Yeah,
or a little bit later, because right now, like, it's not for my setup on my pattern. I'm not seeing it even across the SPY and the Qs either. The movement is. I'll just sit on my hands. It's not easy to, but
yeah.
Why should I take a risk and do a bozo dumb move and just lose money again? You know, right? I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you know what, I'm okay with what I just did there. It is something that I'm testing out, and I find that I prefer to test it out with small size. And I, right now, feel that I was right. We'll see what happens over here. My stop was in the right area. I went short once it rejected over here. Stop above the wick, so that was okay. It's category 2 as far as I'm concerned. It followed the plan, just didn't work.
Was your stop too tight? I'm curious, or it was where it was and it just wicked and it happened?
I'm sorry, I missed the beginning of what you just said.
I'm just curious, was your original stop too tight, or was it properly placed? And
no, it was properly placed. Here, I'll show you on there you go. 5-minute time frame. Short. Right there. Stop above the wick, which is also above the 61.8. And target was just low of day over here.
Yeah.
Just like that. And got stopped out right there.
Yeah, I see that little cleanup wick.
Yeah, right there. Well, because I'm not the only one that traded that took that, right? So there's obviously a lot of stops in this area. So what do? We go get these stops, and then once we've got them, you know, entry possibly should have been here with the stop right there, and S4.
Yeah, because like if you
right
go to your stop and then go left to around 7:30, you've got that cluster right there.
Yeah.
It might have been a little safer to go with that wick on that green bar.
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
Yes, I've noticed that sometimes when I set my stops, that sometimes
it was definitely more aggressive, but like I said, I mean, it's small size. When I take these trades, I'm honestly not taking the trade to make money. Right? It's just full disclosure. When I say that, I mean, I could be going in with $50 or $10. You know, it's testing out strategies. This is not the strategy that I usually take. right? Mine are the break and retest, double tops bottoms, kangaroo tails at the top or at the bottom. Those are but now I've been testing out. I love Amal's strategy, the one that he shared. It is something that I will be back testing and front testing, and especially once I get into futures. But I wanted to try it with real money over here, right?
That's good. You're using real money, so you got skin in the game. Even if the risk is small, I think that's very important.
Yeah, that's the way that I like to do it. It's not for everybody, but I know that when I'm profitable, I'm more profitable than my losses. So right now that's -1R. My next one will be +3, +4. Maybe not the next one, but there will be one. And you know, that's the whole concept of the way that Avi teaches as well. Is just make your winners bigger than your losses.
Yeah, I totally agree. I took a really nice trade on INTC the week before, and that was like +8R.
Yeah.
And subsequently, I had a -0.7R, and then the other day I think a -1.25R. So
yeah,
totally for me and my trade book, totally acceptable. So yeah, I'm with you on that. But
yeah. No,
well, still great seeing you as always. Thank you so much again for your insights. And
yeah, no problem. Hey, hopefully it's beneficial for people out there. Tomorrow, because I'm heading out tomorrow, I'll share what ended up happening with this, and possibly if I take anything else, I'll share it in the prep tomorrow morning. But it is 10:30, so I'm going to head out. Thanks a lot for being there, Evo, and everybody else in the chat. Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Adios. Take care.
Right.
I'm going to step away myself too.
Okay. Cheers. Thanks again.